They came again like a black storm in the night. Wild boars tearing through the cornfields with ruthless force, leaving destruction in their wake. By sunrise, the damage was unmistakable. Flattened crops, uprooted soil, the remains of a year's effort reduced to chaos in just a few hours. My grandmother, a strong-willed woman who had weathered droughts, storms, and hardship, stood silently before the ruins of her work, and that silence cut deeper than any words. It was the kind of quiet that stirs something in the blood, something that demands action. So I returned to the countryside, to the rolling hills and thick forests where these creatures roam, to reclaim the land and restore the peace that had been shattered. Local shepherds guided us to the ridges where the boars had been seen most, and together we formed a push and pinch strategy, positioning sharpshooters along the high ground, while others, armed with radios, dogs, and rifles, drove the herd upward. At dawn, the cold air settled across the valley, and frost glistened on the grass like scattered glass. It took nearly 2 hours to climb to the vantage point that overlooked the hillside, the very path the boars would likely attempt to escape through. Wild boars, with their heightened instincts, almost always run uphill when threatened. We were there to close that door. The forest was still at first, with only the sound of breath and wind moving through dry leaves. Then the dogs picked up the trail. Their bark rolled through the trees like distant thunder, and soon movement appeared through the scope. A massive boar, nearly 200 kilograms, creeping through the brush with the calculated stealth of a seasoned survivor. I raised the rifle slowly, steadying my breath as the crosshairs settled over its shoulder. One controlled squeeze, one sharp report, and the creature fell, sliding down the slope in a lifeless tumble. The shot marked the beginning. Across the valley, radios crackled as the push tightened. A smaller boar broke away, freezing in confusion as it searched for escape. I found my mark again, firing once to end its run before it could vanish into the undergrowth. But the herd did not move as one. Some rushed toward the neighboring ridge, thorn-covered ground that tested every step and every breath. The dogs, loyal and relentless, surged forward, flushing one straight toward the hillside below us. The shot had to be perfect. I waited, ensuring no dog crossed my line of fire, then fired cleanly and brought the beast down. But another appeared in a panic-driven charge, scrambling upward with wild force. I fired, hitting true but not deep enough, and the boar veered toward where Blake was hidden. A rifle cracked once more, Blake's shot landing with precision, dropping the charging beast before it could do harm. Trust and timing became our lifelines in the hills. As the day continued, we spotted more boars resting across the ridge and moved silently into place. Aiming just behind the ear, a boar's most vulnerable point, I fired, ending another quickly and without suffering. Sporadic gunfire echoed from other positions as teammates worked in synchrony, each shot serving a purpose, each step measured. In the late hours of the hunt, one wounded boar lay hidden beneath dry leaves, trembling and weak. I approached quietly, ending its pain with a final shot, knowing mercy is part of balance. The hunt concluded with a solemn calm rather than triumph. As we drove back, dust lifting softly behind the tires, the landscape looked peaceful again, as though untouched by conflict. But we understood the truth. Wild boars reproduce rapidly. They return. They always return. Yet so will we. The work of protecting farmland does not end with a single hunt. It continues with every sunrise, every harvest, every new season. Across other regions, swamps, plains, and mountain forests, the same struggle unfolds. In Florida, where fields stretch beyond sight, these animals hide within dense brush and rolling hills, wreaking havoc where crops and soil should thrive. In Louisiana, their damage threatens not just farmland, but the levees that guard entire communities from devastating floods, leading to missions conducted with precision and urgency. In Turkey and Morocco, they tear through cornfields and orchards, forcing hunters and farmers to work in cooperation to defend what feeds their families. Whether on mountain ridges or marshland waterways, whether pursued on foot or from roaring airboats gliding through reeds, each hunt carries risk and requires skill, patience, and discipline. And always the purpose remains the same. Not sport, not thrill, but protection. Every shot fired is meant to defend livelihoods, preserve crops, guard villages, and restore balance to the land. And as night falls, when the fields grow quiet and the sky dims to deep violet, the knowledge settles in. Peace in these lands is not permanent, not guaranteed. It is something earned, something watched over, something fought for day after day. The wild boars will return, and so will those who stand to defend this land, not for glory, but for the lives and communities that depend on it. Because some things are worth protecting, always.